Hi SaaSet users. Okay, this is the bonus product that I have used, or one of them that I've used in promoting an affiliate product called Dark Post Engine in the last few days. And one or two people who also are SaaSet users have seen this and of course wanted to know how it was done. What's unique about it is that when they come to this delivery page, which is protected, I've got two things going on here. As well as my own people that are getting this as a bonus, I teamed up with two other guys. So obviously some of the buyers that pick up Dark Post Engine through our bonus link are not on my list. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity to add them. The first time this is run, it tells them they have to activate it. This is just a continue box, doesn't do anything other than give them a message. And they're now asked to put in their name as it appears on the JVZoo transaction and the email address they used to purchase. Let's put an actual email address in here. Now this is partial bluff because I have no way of validating whether that's actually what they entered. But by asking them to do that, it looks like it's validating, and it guarantees me then that they're more likely to enter an actual purchase email address. Now when they click next on this, two things happen. Now it runs the regular project, which is a 2-tag simple SaaSet project that generates legal pages. But also it has behind the scenes sent their email address to my autoresponder via Zapier, and also it has set a cookie. So if I finish this, just use this, put in my support email address. Finish. Okay, so there's the end of the project. They download their pages and they're done. Now here's the thing. If they start over, they will always now start at enter their web address. If they reload this page, refresh, which I'll do for you, again, it will always start at this point. In other words, it will not ask them to enter their details again because I've cookied them to say that their details have been added. So let's dig into the SaaSet that is doing this. I've got two copies of it on here. We will look at this one because this is the one that I'm actually using at the moment. Doesn't use pages, so it's just easier to explain as we go through. Okay, the actual original SaaSet project that I have wrapped this around only had 2 tags. So everything above this I have added as a tag. So I'm reading a cookie. I'm doing a cleaning process, which is actually not necessary, but in the first version of cookies that we had, there would sometimes be space characters, so I'd put in a line to strip them out. Strictly speaking, that's not needed now. We do a check on the cookie to see if it's set. If it is set, it's going to jump to here. So basically, as soon as this SaaSet runs, it's going to read and check the cookie and jump if it is set. If it is not set, it will do the thing you saw where it says you must register. It will ask them for their name, which I put into a temporary tag first because I wanted them to enter their name as it appeared on the JVZoo receipt to add authenticity. My autoresponder that I'm using in this particular case only requires a first name to be passed to it. So I then do a couple of things that will strip it down and take just the first name. Ask for their email, and then this tag here is going to call, I've called it webhook. Basically it is going to trigger the Zapier zap which will add this email to my autoresponder. Then I'm going to set the cookie. This is the cookie we checked for at the beginning that wouldn't have been set if it's gone down through this. So we now set the cookie so that next time it's run, it will read it, check it, and jump to here. So let's go through and take a look at the tags, and we'll show you how this goes together. My cookie is called Andy Legal. So I retrieve the cookie in the beginning. If this cookie either is not set or does not exist, then it will return blank. This was the step I was doing to remove spaces. That's a space in parameter 1. They're using remove characters. Don't actually need that now. Then we do a conditional jump. So if the cookie doesn't equal nothing, so in other words, if the cookie is set, then we're going to jump to the web address tag. If it is not set, then they're going to see this come up that explains, this is just a list of answers with only one option in it. It's just a nice way of putting a little explanation in and doing a continue button. I then ask them for their name as it appears on the JVZoo things. That's first name, last name. Now I only need the first name. So what I now do is I extract, use the extract function. We pass in temp name, which is the one they put it into. Nothing in parameter 1, which will mean the extraction starts at the beginning of the input and it ends on the first space. There's a space in there. You can't see it, but there is. And then just for added checking, I force it so that the name has the first letter uppercased and the rest lowercase using the uppercase first function. So now name contains their first name, which is what I need for my particular autoresponder. Then we ask for their email address, do a bit of validation, make sure it is an email address. This is the webhook. Now, if you are not familiar with Zapier, I will take you in and show you very quickly what we have here. So this is the Zap that is actually running. I've called it FB Legal 2. It's going to my autoresponder. So we're using a webhook, and we are catching a hook which will catch on a post, put, or get. So in other words, it's going to give us a URL, and I'm going to pass what data I want to it. It then gives me that URL, and this is the URL I have put in here under using get web content, and I've put that here, and then I've added to the end of it !email equals and the email tag, and this is standard HTML stuff. This is using a get string, a query string on a URL. I'm passing in the email address, then I've got an ampersand because that's what we use to separate in a query string, and then I do name equals the name field. So that is going to come in here. I didn't need to put anything in child key, I just needed to do a test on it, which you do. You'll understand if you play with Zapier how all this works. What that will do is that will give me a name and an email field that I can then add into an autoresponder. That's all Zapier functionality. I'm not going to explain it further than that. Zapier is very easy to use, but that is how I'm using Zapier in conjunction with SaaSet to put somebody onto an email list. The final stage here is to set the cookie so that next time they come in, it will realize it's set and it won't ask them to register again. So I create a cookie called Andy Legal containing their email address. It could contain anything, it just needs to have something in it, but I thought may as well use something that they've set. And this is a parameter in minutes. That's how many minutes the cookie remains set for. And I think, I can't remember exactly how long I did there. What have we done? 43200. If we divide that, I've got a feeling it was something. It's a few months anyway. It's quite a long period of time, like 3 or 6 months. It's in minutes, so take minutes, multiply it by 24 hours, then multiply it by the number of days. I think I did 90 days, something like that. That's the cookie set, and then we're into the regular SaaSet. This is where it jumps to, and that's it. That's really all there is to it. The only other thing I created just for my own benefit was a little demo clear cookie thing so I could test this. So just to show you what I mean, at the moment, if I go in here and I run this, you will see that it's jumping straight to the web address because the cookie is set. But I wanted a way of testing this without clearing all my cookies, which would be a hassle. So what I did was I made a little dummy SaaSet project. That file is a text file with nothing, or a line of text in it. It's not even a tag in there. Added 2 tags manually. The first one is a remove cookie, and the second one just confirms it's been done, and you click finish. And then I did copy the clipboard, just output the contents of the text file. So that will delete that cookie. Probably a good thing to set up if you're going to be testing this, because now I can do this. That's the cookie cleared. So if I now run that SaaSet again, and now I've got the session variables will still be set, so I have to click start over. But you will see that basically that now takes you back as if it wasn't set. So that gives you a couple of pointers on how to use cookies. There's a set, a get, and a delete cookie. That's as simple as that. They're all advanced functions. You have to have the Enterprise Plus or Ultimate Edition of SaaSet to make use of this. And also how I've used the get web content to pass a set of data out to Zapier. So this is like API stuff. This is way beyond what we ever expected Zapier to do. What we expected SaaSet to do. But we got requests for API stuff. Didn't want to do it for security reasons. But then worked out that by doing what we did, we could link into Zapier quite safely. So I hope that helps, and I hope it inspires you, because now you can set up a project where they have to register first. And obviously, behind the scenes, what you pass out to this URL in here, let's go to the webhook. What you do here is up to you. It doesn't have to be Zapier. If you have a programmer that writes scripts for you, then you could get them to write a script that passes that data out and does something else with it. Adds them to a WordPress membership site or something of that nature. So, wanted to throw that out, give you a couple of pointers, a few ideas, but that is how you can use Zapier and how you can use the new cookies feature that has been added into Enterprise Plus and the Ultimate Editions of SaaSet.